How's it going, guys? My name is Ali and welcome to another episode of Ancestral Brew, where we discuss the forgotten history of our ancestors and really delve deep into Indo-European history. The topic for today's discussion is of the Steppe people. This was brought to my attention in one of the other videos that I posted about the Iranian people, which you can find here, and it was a topic for discussion about the connection between haplogroup R1a and the Steppe people of Central Asia and Iran. Before I dive into this video, I really want to get into details about who these Steppe people were and really give you guys a broader insight into these forgotten people that mainstream historians and history doesn't really talk about. So let's begin. Contemporary history often centralizes on two major regions, that of Greece and Rome, and also Egypt, but mostly Greece and Rome. We tend to forget that there were people that were significantly influential to the formation of not only these empires, but the surrounding empires such as the Persians, the Indians, and the Chinese, who were all influenced by these people who have long been forgotten by history. Who were these people? Well, these people predominantly lived on the steppe. They were nomadic, semi-nomadic herders. They were expert horsemen, expert archers, and really transformed the way modern civilization took its place. As a matter of fact, these steppe people are responsible for the formation of one of the world's biggest countries, Russia. Steppe people have long dominated every civilization that they've come through with, and this is primarily because of the fact that they were expert horse archers. They were able to ravage and decimate their enemy due to their ability to form into large confederations, and they were often quite fearless. Most contemporary historians often class steppe people as barbarians, and this primarily contributed to why they were so effective. They didn't fear death. Now, steppe people is a very broad term, and it actually refers to a numerous variety of different peoples. These peoples expand as far west as Russia and as far east as modern-day China, and they live in the region of the world known as the Eurasian steppe. The Eurasian steppe is extremely flat, and it makes it perfect for people riding on horses to travel vast distances. Now, let us backtrack to about 3000 BC. This is primarily where the inception of these steppe peoples takes place. We explore a region known as the Pontic Caspian steppe, which is located in modern-day Russia and Ukraine. What's so important about the Pontic Caspian steppe is that around 5,000 years ago, the people here learned to domesticate the horse. By doing so, they were able to form all of the world's major civilizations and played an influential role in how humanity even today lives about. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for these people, I would not be communicating to you in the language that I am speaking to you right now. I am, of course, talking about the Proto-Indo-Europeans. The Proto-Indo-Europeans are one of the most influential peoples to have ever stepped place on this earth, and what's remarkable about them is that they were able to influence all of the world's previous big Bronze Age civilizations, such as that of the Elamites and various other people groups. 5,000 years ago, these people start to spread everywhere, and I mean everywhere. They go eastwards near China to form the Tocharians. They go westwards to form the corded ware culture, and eventually form the Proto-Germanic and Proto-Celtic people. They migrate southwards to form the Greeks, and they also migrate southeastwards into Persia, forming the actual Persian Empire itself. These expert horsemen were patriarchal societies, and their legacy can be seen by the haplogroups that they have left behind. Haplogroup R1a and R1b are amongst the most common haplogroups, and these are markers of the Proto-Indo-Europeans who spread outwards and colonized the world. As we progress further in time, these steppe people still lived their lives, still lived in their confederations, but were called by other names. The Greeks knew them as the Scythians, whilst the Persians called them the Sarkar. The Sarkar were known by the Persians as being an Iranian people group, however they were still referred to as barbarians. Eventually, as we go further down the line, the Scythians actually migrate southwards, intermix with a similar people called the Parthians, and form one of the longest Persian dynasties to ever last, the Parthian dynasty, formed by the Parthians who were related to the Scythians and were also expert horsemen. As we go further down in time, towards antiquity, towards a time where the Romans were living, we have peoples known as the Alans, who were also steppe people, who were also Iranic-speaking people, and actually formed a coalition with the Visigoths and Subutai and made their way down as far south as Spain. It's really remarkable how the contributions of steppe people played an influential role in how world history has taken place. But we must not forget one of the most influential steppe peoples that ever roamed the planet. I am, of course, talking about the Turks and the Mongols. We know that the period of what is known as the Middle Ages was a period of destruction, and as a matter of fact, during the 1200 to 1300s, about half the world's population perished because of the plagues and destruction that was brought about by who else? The steppe people, also known as the Mongols. The Mongols are a steppe people, and they're closely related to their cousins who are the Turks, although the Turks and the Mongols are actually two different types of people. I call them cousins because they live in very similar regions of the earth. The Altai region, which presents itself in modern-day Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Russia, is the birthplace of the Turks and very, very close to Mongolia. We often attribute the success of the Mongols due to their ability to pillage, rape, and destroy, but as a matter of fact, their success was attributed to their ability to bring forth other nations and make them part of their larger confederations. The bulk of the Mongol army was actually Turkic nomads who would form, and their legacy today can be witnessed in Russia. When we go down to the Volga River, we've got our Volga Tatars, who are descendant from the Tatar Turks, who themselves formed an allegiance with the Mongols during the reign of Genghis Khan. The Tatars are widespread, and they even exist in the Crimean Peninsula, indicating how successful these steppe people were in dominating their landscapes. So, when we reflect on the history of the steppe people, it's often intertwined, but there's something so fascinating that I see with it. The steppe people are linked with the expansion of the Proto-Indo-Europeans, they're linked with the expansion of the Proto-Iranians, and they're also linked with the expansion of the Turks. So these cultures have this unity amongst them that originates in the steppe region, and the mysticism and spirituality of these people is an area of fascination. I myself am Iranian, and I'm deeply fascinated with the rituals that these people took place. I'm fascinated by their use of metallurgy. I often call them the Vikings of the East. That's how I see them, and I think that their history should be more talked about. So, in my future videos, I'll be describing more about these people and sharing more information with you so that you may know about the world history that we have that is often quite forgotten. Peace out!